Dear students, this is Dr. Vishal Srivastava, Professor in Computer Science Engineering Department from Arya College of Engineering and IT, Jaipur. Today our topic is distributed shared memory. Distributed shared memory is an abstraction used for sharing data between computers that do not share physical memory. Distributed memory access processes by read and updates, so what appears to be ordinary memory within their address space. However, an underlying runtime system ensures transparently that processes executing at different computers observe the updates made by one another. So the main point of distributed DSM is that it spares the programmer the concerns of message passing when writing applications that might otherwise have to use it. DSM primarily a tool for parallel applications or for any distributed application or group of applications in which individual shared data items can be accessed directly. Distributed shared memory is in general less appropriate in client-server systems where clients normally view server-held resources as abstract data and access them by request. So distributed shared memory is basically a concept that has been generated when we have introduced multi-processor systems where there are many processors sharing the common memory. You can see the diagram. Here we are having a distributed shared memory and various systems or processors having their physical memory, and they are interacting with the distributed memory for accessing the processes or services. Message passing cannot be avoided altogether in a distributed system. In the absence of physical shared memory, the DSM runtime support has to send updates and messages between computers. DSM system manage replicated data. Each computer has a local copy of recently accessed data items stored in DSM. In distributed memory, multiprocessors and clusters of the self-computing components the processors do not share, but they are connected by a very high-speed network. These systems, like general-purpose distributed system, can scale to much greater numbers of processors than a shared memory multiprocessors. Message passing versus DSM. As a communication mechanism, DSM is comparable with message passing rather than with request-reply based communication. Programming model. Under the message passing model, variables have to be marshaled from one process transmitted and unmarshaled into the other variables at the time of receiving. Efficiency. Experiment shows that certain parallel programs developed for DSM can made up to perform about as well as functionally equivalent programs written for message passing. So they are just comparable. We cannot say that this is high or this is bad. Implementation approaches to DSM. Distributed shared memory is implemented using one or a combination of specialized hardware, conventional based virtual memory or middleware. Hardware implementation. Shared memory multiprocessor architecture based on NUMA architecture relies on specialized hardware to provide the processors with a consistent view of shared memory. They handle memory load and store instructions by communicating with remote memory and cache modules as necessary to store and retrieve data. Second implementation approach is based virtual memory. Many systems including Ivy and Mather implement DSM as a region of virtual memory, occupying the same address range in the address space of every participating process. Middleware approach. Some languages such as Orca supports forms of DSM without any hardware or paging support in a platform neutral way. Design and implementation issues. The synchronization model used to access DSM consistently at the application level. The DSM consistently model, which governs the consistency of data values accessed from different computers. The update option for communicating within written values between computers, the granularity of sharing in a DSM implementation, and the problem of thrashing. So these are the various issues that may arise while implementation. The structure. The DSM system is just such a replication system. Each application process is represented with some abstraction of a collection of objects, but in this case the collection looks more or less like memory. That is, the objects can be addressed in some fashion or other. Different approaches to DSM vary in what they consider to be an object and in how objects are addressed. We consider three approaches which view DSM as being composed respectively of contiguous bytes, language level objects, or immutable data items. Object oriented approach. The shared memory is structured as a collection of language level objects with higher level semantics than simple read write variables such as stacks and dictionaries. The contents of the shared memory are changed only by invocations upon these objects and never by direct access to their member variables. Advantage of viewing memory in this way is the object semantics can be utilized when enforcing consistency. Byte oriented. This type of DSM is accessed as ordinary virtual memory, a contiguous array of bytes. It is this view illustrated above by Mather system. It is also the view of many other DSM systems including Ivy. Immutable data. When reading or taking a tuple from tuple space, a process provides a tuple specification and the tuple space returns any tuple that matches that specification. This is a type of associative addressing. To enable processes to synchronize their activities, the read and take operations both block until there is a matching tuple in the tuple space. Synchronization model. Many applications apply constraints concerning the values stored in shared memory. This is as true of applications based on DSM as it is of applications written for shared memory multiprocessors. For example, you can see the example over here. Consistency model. The local replica manager is implemented by a combination of middleware and the kernel. It is usual for middleware to perform the majority of DSM processing. Even in the page-based DSM implementation, the kernel usually provides only basic page mapping, page fault handling and communication mechanism, and middleware is responsible for implementing the page sharing policies. The process is represented over here. Two processes are accessing shared variables. You can see them. Sequential consistency. A DSM system is said to be sequentially consistent if for any execution there is some interleaving of the series of operations issued by the processes that satisfies the following two criteria. Coherence is an example of a weaker form of consistency. Under coherence, every process agrees on the order of write operations to the same location, but they do not necessarily agree on the ordering of write operations to different locations. We can think of coherence as sequential consistency on a location by location basis. Weak consistency. This model exploits knowledge of synchronization operations in order to relax memory consistency while appearing to the programmer to implement sequential consistency, at least under certain conditions that are beyond the scope of our syllabus. For example, if the programmer uses a lock to implement a critical section, then a DSM system can assume that no other process may access the data items accessed under mutual exclusion within it. It is therefore redundant for the DSM system to propagate updates to these items until the process leaves the critical section. While items are left with inconsistent values, some of the item they are not accessed at those points, the execution appears to be sequential consistent. Update options. Two main implementation choices have been devised for propagating updates made by one process to other, write update and write invalidate. These are applicable to a variety of DSM consistency models, including sequential consistency. In outline, the options are as follows. Write update. The update made by process are made locally and multicast to all other replica managers processing a copy of the data item, which immediately modify the data read by local processes. The processes read the local copies of the data items without the need for communication. In addition to allowing multiple readers, several processes may write the same data item at the same time. This is known as multiple reader, multiple writer sharing. You can view this via diagram also using the write update. Three processes are sharing the same data and maintaining the consistency. Write invalidate. This commonly implemented in the form of multiple reader single writer sharing. At any time, a data item may either be accessed if read-only mode by one or more processes, or it may be read and written by a single process. So that it means that you can multiple processes can read the same data, but for writing only one process will be given the permission. An item that is currently accessed in read-only mode can be copied indefinitely. You can have indefinite replicas for read-only permission, but for write permission you will have a single permission. That is, multicast messages first sent to all other copies to invalidate them, and this is acknowledged before the write can take place. The other process are thereby prevented from reading stale data. That means a message is sent to all the systems who are having the replica of that data that you have to invalidate this copy, because a copy has been going modification by a writing operation. So after that operation will be confirmed, then you can use the data which you will receive after that transaction. Granularity. An issue that is related to the structure of DSM is the granularity of sharing. That means what amount of data can be shared. Conceptually, all processes share the entire concept of DSM. As program sharing DSM execute, however, only certain parts of data are actually shared, and then only for certain times during the execution. So not all entire data is shared. Only a part of data that has been required will be shared during the execution. It would clearly be very wasteful for the DSM implementations always to transmit the entire contents of DSM as process access and update. 22, it is denoted as this. P, or events that occur at processor P. These are the different processors. Okay. Immutable data. When reading or taking a tuple from tuple space, a process provides a tuple specification and the tuple space returns any tuple that matches that specification. This is a type of associative addressing. To enable processes to synchronize their activities, the read and take operations both block until there is a matching tuple in the tuple space. Synchronization model. Many applications apply constraints. Now the deadlock detection. This is the last topic in our unit 4. A distributed deadlock occurs when each of a collection of processes waits for another process to send it a message, and there is a cycle in the graph of the wait for relationship. In figure, both P1 and P2 wait for a message from the other, so both are blocked and the system cannot continue. Termination detection. It is difficult to tell whether a distributed algorithm has terminated. It is not enough to detect whether each process has halted. In figure, both processes are in passive mode, but there is an activation request in the network. The termination detection examines multiple states like deadlock detection, except that a deadlock may affect only a portion of the process involved, while termination detection must ensure that all the processes have completed. So I think this is all. Thank you.